Hold on one second, guys. Hold on. Before I take the picture, can we go ahead and shift the group over a little bit to the right? There's a few trash cans in the background there. It just doesn't look too nice in the image. Just go ahead and Photoshop it. Don't you Photoshop? How many photographers get that from time to time from clients? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you what I think about that. Ready? Let's go. Rock and roll. What's good, guys? This is Vahography. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about clients telling you, don't you Photoshop? Just go ahead and Photoshop that out. You know what? I don't need to, fix my bow tie. Sir, your bow tie is crooked. Or ma'am, can you go ahead and move a little bit of your hair out of your face? It's in your eye and it's killing the picture. Don't you Photoshop? Just go ahead and Photoshop that. Can you just Photoshop that out? Before we get started in this video, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, Vahography, this is where we talk about all things photography. Videos like this one, where I'm about to tell you lens reviews, camera reviews. We talk all things photography. Vahography talks. We have awesome talks coming soon. If you're not a subscriber yet, go ahead and subscribe. Like this video. It helps with the YouTube algorithms. And hit the bell notification. Let's get started. Photoshop, photographers. What do you mean you don't Photoshop? Here's where I look at the client and I think to myself, no, I cannot Photoshop that out. I am a photographer. I am not an editor. Okay? And that's exactly what you should tell the client. Word for word. Say it with a smile. Don't be like, no, I'm not an editor. What do you think I am? What the hell? Don't insult me. Don't do it like that. Say it with a smile. Be nice about it. A lot of times, clients, they automatically assume that you're a Photoshop genius. You're a Photoshop expert. It's automatic. They're hiring you for photography, but they're getting Photoshop services as well. They're getting professional editing services. And some of these requests are like magic. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but my Photoshop skills, they're not that great. I don't consider myself a Photoshop expert. I don't consider myself a professional expert editor. Yeah, I know the basics of Photoshop to get by, what I need to for photography. However, if a client asks me, well, can't you just make the bow tie straight in the pictures? For example, the groom puts a cell phone in his pocket and the frame of the phone is relevant in his pants. He's wearing tight pants and you can see that phone in his pocket every picture that we're taking. Now, first of all, I noticed that when I'm taking the picture, but there are certain shots. Some of you might get requests saying, hey, the groomsman has a cell phone in his pocket, or you know what, you're busy and you just didn't catch that when you're shooting. And the bride and groom or the couple or the customer asks you to Photoshop that out in every single image that you've taken. And we're talking hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands of images. Now, as a photographer, and leave me a comment down below, do you sit there and do you Photoshop every single image? Do you do that? I certainly don't. Hell no, I certainly do not do that. And I let the clients know. I let the clients know that, you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, thank you for hiring me as a photographer. I appreciate you love my services and my pictures. However, I am not a professional editor. I am not a Photoshop expert, and you hired me to take your pictures and to color correct them, to color grade them, and to deliver them to you. What you're requesting, oh, you don't Photoshop this, Photoshop that. What you're requesting from me is additional services that you might have to pay for. Now, I don't do the Photoshop myself. Now, I can go ahead and refer you to somebody that does, or I can have one of my staff Photoshop all the images that you want for an additional fee. Now, some of the clients, they automatically assume, and let me know if this is your clients and you come across this. And let me comment. Some of the clients automatically assume that photography comes with these types of services. A lot of clients, they get that confused. It gets a little foggy to clients sometimes. Well, you said you were going to edit all the images. How come you didn't edit the images? There's a difference between color correcting and grading, and a difference between retouching, actual photoshopping images. I'm talking taking hairs off the face and, like fixing certain things. Now, here's a tip for you guys. When you're shooting portraits, family formals, family pictures, weddings, always try to get the shot right when you're shooting it. Look around you. Look around for trash cans, the subject's hair, the bow tie, the pants, the cell phone in the pants, So look around and make sure that none of those things can become an issue later on when they're, viewing their images that you delivered to them. So you always want to, I know it's really tough, a run and gun situation. You're stressed out. Everybody wants their photos taken. And sometimes you don't pay attention to those little fine details when you're taking pictures. This happens especially at weddings. You're on a time crunch and everything is just fast moving. And you miss the hair in the face, or you miss the placement of the hands, the cell phone pocket thing. And, it is what it is. It is what it is. So basically, try to get that right when you're shooting. And, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you get a trash can in the background. Sometimes you get twigs, growing from people's heads in the background. So if a client asks you to, what you don't Photoshop? Just Photoshop it. Mr. Photographer. Just Photoshop it. It's okay. They're holding a cell phone when you're taking a group picture. Just Photoshop it out, Don't you Photoshop? You don't Photoshop? What do you mean you don't Photoshop? No, I'm a photographer. I'm not an editor. I'm not an editor, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. That's not what I do. Like I said, my Photoshop skills are, compared to these masters on Photoshop, the things they do on Photoshop just blows my mind. I'm sure you can pretty much do anything in Photoshop if you really put time into it. But, when it comes to editing photos, I really want to shoot the gig, color correct it, deliver it to the clients, and move on to the next gig, guys. Honestly, I don't want to sit there for hours on end on one image. I'm pretty sure you could sit there on one image for hours and make it just a virtuoso masterpiece. But do you really want to do that when you're shooting weddings? You take hundreds upon thousands of pictures at a wedding. Do you really want to shoot that? Do you really want to take your time and do that on every single photo that needs to be done? I mean, obviously, there's things that I can do to an image to make it look better than what I deliver. But I'm not going to sit there and spend my time on one image that I don't have to. There's an example. I mean, yeah, if you're making a 20 by 30 canvas, if you're making a big ass print for clients, that's an exception. If there's a trash bag on a grassy field, I might clone stamp that out of there. But that's an exception. You're making one big ass print for the client. Sure, spend some time on that one, especially if they ordered it and they're paying for that picture. Now, like I said, again, my Photoshop skills are, compared to the experts, my Photoshop skills get me by. They're nothing special. I know how to do the basics. Now, some of these clients, they might request to take, a strand of hair out of a bride's or a portrait that you're taking. You see a strand of hair on someone's face right across the eyeball and the skin, the forehead and the cheek. I'm pretty sure professional Photoshop artists, they're artists in their own right. They can go ahead and do that. No problem. Me, I'm a photographer. I don't know about you, but most of us photographers, we're not Photoshop editor experts. I don't care what you say, guys. You might know your stuff from Photoshop and you might, think that you're an amazing editor, but you're really not. You're more of a photographer. Now, of course, there's exceptions to the rule. You might know your Photoshop and you might be one of those masters in Photoshop. That's fine. And if you want to go ahead and spend hours on one image, that's on you. I don't know about you guys, but I just, like I said, some of you guys, you want to spend time in all the images. You want to make them perfect. Some clients might appreciate your efforts and others not so much, guys. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been dealing with clients forever. And when it comes to appreciating your hard work, sure, some of them are really, really notice it. Some of them really, really appreciate the fact that you did all this work for nothing. But a lot of times they don't give a shit about you. Honestly, they don't give a shit about you. They won't pay you extra. All they're looking for is a good deal. All they're looking for is, a good price. They want their pictures on time. And if you think that you spending time and going through all this unnecessary editing will get you more business in the future, well, it might, and it might not. There's been a lot of times where I spent so much time, especially in my younger days, thinking that I want to make a great impression. I want to spend 20, 30 minutes on one image. It takes me one project, takes me 3, 4, 5 days to complete. You guys gotta make your time count, guys. You gotta value your time. Like a doctor. Doctor comes in, does his stuff, looks at the patient, writes the medicine, prescriptions, and he's out of there. His time is valuable. A lawyer's time. How much time does it cost a lawyer for 1 hour? How much money does that cost? They value their time. Photographers, it's time for us to start valuing our time. Again, I hate sitting in front of a computer. I hate it with a passion. I love taking pictures. I love, going out there, shooting, setting up, telling subjects how to pose, setting the lighting, taking the picture. I look at the image, I look at the print, and I move on from there, So, anyway, guys, hopefully, I know for sure 100%, if you guys are paid professional photographers, you get this a lot. Just Photoshop it. Mr. Photographer, just Photoshop it. Don't worry about it. Oh, well, you're a beautiful bride. Your hair is in your face. Can we adjust that? You're not going to like it. Let's just do it. Come on. We're pressed for time. Just Photoshop it. Oh, guys, this happens a lot. If there's certain things that you can remove to make the photo better, let's say, for example, like I said, you see a grocery bag on the grass somewhere. It doesn't look too nice. Go ahead, take 30 seconds, kick it to the side, pick it up, whatever. Remove that or shift the client somewhere else. If there's certain things, orange, yellow fire hydrants, parking, curbside, red, green, blue, all those things, parked cars. Watch out for all that stuff. It's hard to Photoshop, and you know what? As photographers, we need to value our time. Tell the client exactly what I said. No, I don't Photoshop. As photographers, it's time to value our time. And hopefully, all you photographers out there that get nervous and that have clients tell you, Photoshop this, Photoshop that, hopefully you can do what I say and say, you know what? We're photographers. We're not editors. All right, everyone, let's close shop. This is Vahography. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. Go out there, take some pictures. Don't spend too much time. Don't spend too much time worrying or editing in front of a computer. Go out there, market yourself, take pictures, do what you love to do. We'll see you on the next video. Rock and roll.